today I've been doing a lot of thinking at work and everything else. And where I want to take this conversation today on the divorce side and how it can help is, we went through a couple steps of what to expect in the early days and what to kind of plan for. But, and I even had a question from a current client that really helped out. But one thing I need to stop and make sure I talk about off and on throughout this journey and this trip is the reality of this situation and not get too caught up in the what am I trying to say? Uh the hype, I guess, but none of my videos are going to be hyped up or anything else. But the glory of it all. While it is very, very important to keep your sights set on the future and what you are working towards and what you're becoming, and not focusing in too much on like what might be perceived as a negative right now. Just understand you have to, climb some hills to get to that actual end destination. There is going to be some hardships. It's not going to be an easy path, but we're here to make it easier. But again, like I said, I think it's important today to just zero in on some reality of it, like the legit reality, not so much the tomorrow's hope, but today's reality. With that, one of the biggest things for me was always, well, is always, again, speaking what is and not what I think should be, but what is actual reality and how does the world actually function? And for me, it's making sure I understand that I don't get too lost on forgetting the reality of other people's intentions around me. Also, not getting lost in my own hope and just assuming that everybody else thinks the same as me. And not everyone's intentions are the same as mine. Again, going back to before, doesn't mean they're right, doesn't mean they're wrong, doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. It just means that they're not on the same journey that I am. They're not in the same path. But with that, it's not being vanilla with yourself. It's not being, in one hand, you want to be your biggest supporter because at the end of the day, you care the most about yourself. You'll care more about yourself than anybody else. Some will act as if they do, but they can't. They absolutely can't. But the other side of that too is you can't get lost in being your own cheerleader all day, every day. You have to get hard on yourself. Sometimes you got to be that dickhead coach. And that's where the reality comes in. That's the specific point I want to talk about today is, dude, you got to get real with yourself. What is happening is your shit's all fucked up. Life as you thought is no more. What you're dealing with is something you've never dealt with before. And it's all new. Every day is new. Every day you wake up, every day you eat, every day you talk to people, all of it. All of these are new experiences because you haven't ever dealt with them in this arena before, ever. So just be aware of that and be very, very raw with yourself and real. This is new. You do not know what to do, so do not lie to yourself. And also, it's not the end of the world, but shit's not great right now either. Shit's not great right now. And just don't forget that. While it doesn't need to be your attention, it does need to be known. Because you stand around lying to yourself all day about how nothing's a big deal, it's not that important, life goes on, just put your head down and work, it'll all get better. Fuck that. You just take that pussy ass route, you're gonna end up in the exact same place because your head wasn't up. You weren't guiding your life or looking for your path. You were just walking down a paved road, heading to a destination that you didn't create. You didn't choose the path, nor did you choose where that path is leading you. So take some responsibility. Daily. Every single day. Part of that waking up routine that I talked about in one of the videos, the last video probably, is take the responsibility for your current situation right now. Don't place blame. Don't even mention what she did wrong. Take time, recognize where you fucked up. You can spend all day convincing yourself how she or they fucked up because they're not here to debate you. They're not here to debate you at all. So you can just be right over and over and over, which who the hell cares? It doesn't matter. It's pointless. You're fighting an argument that's already over with. You didn't win or lose it. It's over. Even if that person stops and says, you were right, who the fuck cares? Because your current situation is still what it is. Divorced man, trying to figure out your life, put it back together, making up for lost time, trying to regain your masculinity, trying to regain that respect that you commanded before that, honestly, you probably didn't even have before, clearly, in some areas. You're not only getting it back, but you're trying to grow it in other areas. So be real with yourself when you wake up. You made it another day. Now get real with yourself. So through that, when those moments in your day come that you're sitting around feeling down on yourself, you're talking bad about yourself, or you're talking bad about something you're not doing, or you think you should do a thing, but you're just feeling tired. Those are the days you're going to get hard on yourself, man. If that shit starts to stack up and it starts to feel a little heavy, listen, no one's coming to save you. You've got to step in and stand up for yourself in that moment. Get up, physically move, tell yourself to shut the fuck up and get back to work. That's what you do in that moment. That's it. Either A, do it yourself, or you B, have a band of brothers you can call upon. You have a coach, you have a mentor, somebody, somewhere, something that you can reach out to. If you can't, or if you don't, it's on you. It's on you. And honestly, it should be predominantly on you in the first place. You should you should strive to be the man that can handle it himself. Not that he has to handle it himself, but the man that can handle it himself. Every day you're working on that. You don't have to do it yourself, but you can. That's very powerful. You never know when you're going to need to be able to do it all on your own. Or you're going to need to be that figure for someone in your life that needs to see that for themselves. That could be a brother. That could be a father. Chances are, probably going to be a son, maybe a daughter. They need to see you win. They need to see you be a leader. So do it for them. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. Want these goals and get real with yourself. Want these outcomes, I guess I should say it. Get hungry for them. Get obsessed with them. You need to be able to handle these things. It's not just anymore in this world, it's not something that's nice to have. It's becoming a requirement very quickly. You want to be able to stand out, but not only that, but handle yourself. If you're not being viewed as a man that can or will, you're just not seen anymore. Everyone wants to fade into this gray area of not being anything at all. They just want to be or appear to be for everything. And as we all know that that's not how it works. You can't be for everything. It means you really stand for nothing. Okay, now we're going to do side and rear delts. So just get this set up right. I guess where I was going with that originally was making sure that if you start to feel those moments teaming up of, I don't feel like doing this shit, or man, I don't feel like eating that food, or I don't feel like doing the workout, or I don't feel like doing whatever it may be in that moment, that you know you should be, that you have written down and you have set into a goal, or you've set into the things that you've set into motion to become your end game goal, like your end game state, your ideal outcome. If you haven't done that yet, and you start to, if you've done that and you start to feel these things racking up, these not wanting to do something desires, it's time to interject. It's time to do something. Massive action. You've probably gotten complacent. The reason I'm talking about this right now is because this will come up over and over and over. This is exactly what I referred to before and what Andy Frisella talks about all the time, is that bitch voice. Build the boss voice to drown out the bitch voice. That bitch voice will show up. And that is exactly what I'm talking about right now. It doesn't matter how good you get, how determined you are, how consistent you become. The bitch voice is strong and it will prevail because you got comfortable. Getting comfortable isn't a horrible thing, but it's when you become lazy on top of that. That's something that lazy can be manipulated. The bitch voice sits and looks out for complacency and strikes on laziness. Complacency is what it sees. It's the signal. Oh, here we go. He's getting into a rut. He's getting into a groove. That groove is becoming normal. He's becoming content. All right, get ready. Get ready to strike. Laziness is up next. We got him. We got him. And it will fail, or you will fail. And that bitch voice will try to capitalize on that moment if you don't pattern interrupt by recognizing complacency. You both are looking for the same thing. That's the best part. Both of you and the bitch voice, are seeing complacency as the signal. That is a signal to pattern interrupt. Who's going to jump first? Are you going to be the boss? Or are you going to be the bitch? Like I said, there's no point in trying to take credit for the boss and bitch voice analogy. That's Andy Frisella all day. Many other people say it many different ways. It doesn't punch as hard as him, though. There's no point in trying to say, the angel or the devil, the winner or the losing, heaven or hell island, none of that shit. Boss voice, bitch voice. You get to choose every moment of every day which one you listen to and which one guides you. So thank you, Andy Frisella. That's it right now. That was what I want to talk about today on that side, is specifically that. You start to feel yourself getting complacent, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen a lot more in the early days, because it's going to be easier to slide into the sorrow, into the depression, into the sadness, I guess, if you want to call it that. In reality, all it really is is your brain and the chemicals within your body that are struggling to rebuild some sort of form of normal, some sort of form of, what to expect. Because right now everything's different. Everything's different day in, day out. You're not waking up next to the same person. You're not hearing the same voices. The environment you're in isn't even the same physically. You're not even in the same environment. Your body's taking a toll. Your mind's taking a toll. Your brain is trying to figure out what's happening. So the reason it tries to kick you into neutral or even reverse is because it thinks that's what you need. It has been convinced that that's where you're comfortable. It has been convinced that that's where you strive. That is what's right. It has been convinced, and that is because you spent years convincing it. You spent years living it or showing your mind and your body a lesser life. You need to show it right now. That while that might have been good, honestly, it might have even been great. It really might have been. Let's be real for a minute. I'll be for real. There were aspects of it that weren't good. But if I'm going to be totally honest, there was a lot of my past life that was fucking awesome. There was a lot of my past life that I would label as great. People would have asked me, I'm killing it. I blindly would have said I'm killing it in other areas. As far as relationship goes, clearly, as I stand here now, that part was not killing it. Having said that, though, when it comes to, the physical things that I strived for, who I was as a dad, specifically to my children, in the relationship to them, obviously I wasn't, it's hard to say, but again, going back to boss voice, handling the bitch voice, I'm going to take control of this situation right now. I'm going to make a statement. Who I was as a dad, as a whole package, wasn't great. Because being a dad isn't just the man to the children. The children are supposed to see the man to the wife as well. And obviously, as I stand here, a divorced man rebuilding his life many years after now, I know at that time I wasn't that. I know when they were very young, growing up, seeing me interact with my ex-wife, it wasn't right. And I say that only in a sense of pure emotional connection. Again, outside looking in, we were solid. Nobody thought this was coming. Hell, I didn't even think it was coming at one point. I don't think she even saw it coming, to be honest. But that just shows you how blindsided I was. That also shows you how controlling the bitch voice was in that part of my life. If I'm being honest right now, too, this is hard to talk about. Look back a few minutes. I'm fidgeting with my pants. I'm fidgeting with the zipper. It's because it's uncomfortable. These are all signs. These are all things that tell me, oh, you're striking something here. There's an emotion. Pattern interrupt. Habit loop trigger. Break it right now. Stop. Tell yourself mentally you will not do that anymore. That's why I stopped playing. That's why I'm acknowledging out loud. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm being vulnerable to you and myself, mainly myself. But you see how it works. It's all day, every day. It's not everything. Or it's not any one thing, it's everything. Sorry, that's how I meant to say that. Just be aware. It's a nonstop journey. Nonstop. But it is being real. Again, I know I'm getting a little off track here, but that is the main focus for today, was being real with yourself. And again, having these little moments of interjection. It's all fancy and fine to talk about. Okay, do this, and then do this, and then do this, step by step by step, and then bam, you're there. It's just not the reality, man. It reminds you of being a shitty ass golfer. It's about the best way I could explain it. Is you have all the each one of the courses has many different holes. You have an 18-hole course. You know where the hole is. You see the map. You see set. You know what the par for the course is. You know all that shit. And if it just meant hearing it and then doing it, it means you would see it, you would hear it, all of a sudden, bam, hit it, hole in whatever par is, because that's what's average, because you know what it's supposed to do. You see the elements and you should just do it. The problem is that in reality, it's fucking hard, man. It's not straightforward. There's just so many different things that are adding to its difficulty too, that are totally out of your control. What is the weather like? Did it rain yesterday? Is it going to rain tomorrow? What's the barometric pressure? How's the grass playing? Was it dewy last night or dewy this morning? You know, what's the condensation going on? Like all of that. What time of year? What type of golf ball do you have? What type of golf clubs do you have? Are you left-handed or are you right-handed? Like all of the shit. Who's your caddy? Who's your fucking mentor? All of it. All of it matters. And that's why today was important specifically. And I'm going to bring this up every so often. Damn near on repeat, but I'm going to say it again each time, maybe here differently, because maybe it'll strike differently each time. I'm not just going to re-upload it. But just be aware. Shit's hard. And you have to convince yourself every single day. You have to sell yourself every fucking day when you get up. That everything that's going on right now to this specific moment as you're stepping out of bed, this is my fault. I made the decisions to get to right here. No one else did this to me at all. Move throughout the day, move throughout the week, and the rest of your life with that in mind. It's up to you. Doesn't mean you have to be 100% gas pedal to the floor right away, all the way. There's going to be shitty days, man. There's going to be slow days. Not that you should submit to them, but you do need to recognize them. Again, the habit loop triggers. You see them come up, recognize them, audibly acknowledge them. This is happening. Let's move within it and handle it ourselves instead of being handled by it. Boss voice on, bitch voice off. Okay. I could ramble on for that forever, and I feel like I already have, so I'm going to stop right there for now on the actual action steps for divorced as a man, divorce steps as a man right now. I'm just going to move into the whole fitness side. I said half and half videos. I'm going to try to keep them right at an hour. I'll stop explaining this part too as videos go on, but that's where I'm trying to go. So, all right. So one of the biggest parts too of regaining your life as a man is getting your fitness together. So that's specifically where these parts of the videos come in. If you want to skip all the bullshit in the front, which I don't think is bullshit, but you know what? I'm not here to put that label on you or on that for you. You can put whatever label you want on it. Maybe it's important. Maybe it's the most important thing you've ever heard. Maybe these daily videos are what are going to absolutely take you to the next level. Who knows? I don't know. I hope that they're there for when you need them. But if you don't, jump to the fitness side. It's okay. And if none of this is for you, move on. Appreciate you, no matter what. But when it comes to the fitness side, again, let's go back to the goal. What's the goal? Well, number one, I'm going to get vague on this first one. Get fucking fit. Handle yourself. Being able to handle yourself and handle your situation as a man should. As a man that can protect, as a man that can provide, you need to be able to handle any circumstance thrown at you to the best of your capability. And daily, we're working on handling those circumstances. That is what we're working on. We want to be able to be in the best situation possible. Jordan Peterson says, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than it is to be a gardener in a war. Take some time to think about that. I'm sure you've heard of it. If you haven't, take some time to think about that. It's very clear meaning. I want to be ready for anything life throws at me. Hopefully, when it comes time, I can handle that. And if nothing else, I can be the symbol that my children look up to or any other man in my space looks up to. I can be a little bit of a beacon, hopefully, something to strive for. And if I'm being totally honest, hopefully you pass me up. Hopefully, if you're a man right now, seeing this and thinking, I want to do that, I really hope you say, fuck that, I'm going to pass him up. That's what I really want. I want to see you absolutely blow the doors off me. Pass me up, make me look like a bitch. That would be a goal. That would be my goal for you. Because if you do that, that just drives me that much harder. It just makes me realize, holy shit, there's so much more I can do. There's so much more I can do. I can tap into something else. That's when we're feeding off each other in a bigger way. So coming back to this chart. So I just finished rear delts. I was actually doing a incline bench here for what is like a rear and a side delt fly. It helps create that actual 3D delt because a lot of people want to focus on the fronts. Don't get me wrong, I'll do front delts every now and then. But as you can see, there's such a low minimum effective volume of 6 sets. And in reality, I don't even really need to do much because my pressing movements help develop those as well. And my front delts, if I'm being real, if I really focus in on them, they overdevelop pretty quick, which leaves my back looking flat and leaves my front side, like my shoulders will look good round from a certain view, but it makes my chest look flatter, which is a hard development point for me. And it also makes my back look flatter because the front delts are overdeveloped. So I focus a lot on rear delts and side delts, which luckily it takes a lot of sets to get that anyways. So those are my first two. So now I'm literally going to start this week again. So like I did the 16, first 2 orders. I'm going to jump into these 2, which are, as we remember before, back and buys. So I'm going to jump straight into back. I'm going to pick my one workout or my one exercise that I'm going to do 4 reps for. So for that, one thing that I'm going to realize is probably, see, I was doing pull-ups. So I think I want to do I'm going to do a row. I'm going to do a barbell row is what I want to do. This is body weight before. It was also from a, like a pull down motion, obviously, is the pull up. So I don't want to go straight into actual cable machine pull downs right into that. So I'm going to go into a little bit more of a back thickening exercise. The only thing here is being cognizant of, this is quite the compound movement here, which pull-ups were too, but it's just something that you need to get your base set, get into it, feel the muscle group right, and work through it. And let me get this turned a little bit better here so we can see the full thing. So I'll do a warm up, which for me, since I'm at the beginning of the week again, the beginning of this, we call it this period, this session, this round, however you want to say it, these 4 weeks. I'm going to warm up at the bar. This movement, I've done thousands and thousands of times in my life. Having said that, it's been probably a month since I've done it, if not longer. Actually, it's been longer. So for me, I get a nice shoulder width stance, good position here, good foundation. Bend over. I don't bend over, like keep your back flat, pulling into my belly button. I'm opting to do overhand. I'm opting to do overhand right now because I want the thickness of the back to be my mid back. Because now that I'm doing that rear and side delt fly on the incline bench, it's going to focus on a little more of my rear delts than I was before with that overhead press. So if I went underhand on this, I usually work up higher up in the muscle group, higher up on my back, I mean. And I don't want to do that right now. So those flies will be something that's doing that together. So that's what I'm doing here. So again, like I'm picking the one exercise because like my days, like I just got off work today, came straight home. All I did was come straight home, drop my crap off in the kitchen. I ate my third meal on the way home. I literally am eating it out of Tupperware, not because I strive to be that guy. It's just that, one of those, well, the last video I was talking about the efficiency of the food. I just need to make sure I get my food in towards my goal and my goal outcome, which is to be the strongest man I can be for what is my situation, which is my children. And now, again, many years later, post divorce, but my girlfriend now. I need to be able to handle situations. And quick side note that I'll get in a little bit later, but is I want to be able to pick her up. Like I'm gonna make sure I can physically pick up my woman no matter what with zero strain, and she needs to understand that. So there'll never be a day I'm not able to do that. So yeah, kind of got off track there where I was going with it. But yeah, these are the movements that I'm going with. And it's my time. Yeah, come back from work. So I had the meal coming in. I come straight home, drop my shit off, literally change from my work pants and my work boots straight into joggers and what is just some sort of flat soled shoe. So I'm a little flat. So a lot of times I'll do this barefoot. Right now it's a little cold in Indiana. While it is sunny, it's cold. It's cold here right now. Midwest here in Indiana. Pretty cold. November. But yeah, I mean this you're talking sweatshirt, t-shirt, same one I had on from work. I don't piss around with I gotta have on this certain thing and the certain stuff. Hell, half the time I'll be doing this in work jeans. You'll see it when I've got to go pick my kids up real quick if I don't get out of work on time. This is what it is. So I do what I need to do to get done what I need to get done. That will be my 2 warm-up sets. It's been a while since I've done rows again. So I know my first working set, it's going to be around this 135 range. Like I said in the other video, I'm 37 right now, about to be 38. The days of blasting out stupid high numbers on every single exercise, those days are done and over with. Don't get me wrong, ego sets in every now and then, and I want to jump back into my higher weights. I get tons of people all the time that ask me, hey, what happened? You used to this and you used to that. Yeah, I know exactly what the fuck I used to do. That was me. I was there for it the whole time. Promise you. I've been me my whole life. I know what I used to do. Thing is, you don't know what I was working towards. You don't know what I was doing. You don't know the injuries I went through, all the bullshit I had to deal with when I was lifting those kinds of weights, weighing as much as I did. It wasn't as functional. Life's changed. That's why I've changed. But yeah, it's more realistic now. I push myself in that 6 to 10 rep range where I want to be, with obviously, again, RIR, 2 reps, RIR, reps in reserve. I want to work out until I get to, I can barely do 1 or 2 reps. And that 6 to 9 range her 6 to 10 range is a really good hypertrophy range. So I'll warm up in that 12 to 20 range, 12 to 15. Once I feel good and I feel like I got good blood flowing, I got a little bit of baby pump going. Okay, first set. If I go a little too low, I try to think about what my jumps are. Think about what the weight jump was in the warm-up, which was just a bar, 45 pounds. And then after that, it was adding 25 pounds each side, so 50 overall. So you're talking 95, so 45 to 90 pounds. That's it's a 50-pound jump. So when I do my next jump, I'm keeping that in mind. Like, okay, I don't want to do too much. I don't want to do too little, but that's where I need to be at. So this first working set, go for that 6 to 10 rep range. We'll see how it goes. Good, strict form, keeping out of the other body parts. Ooh, yeah, it's been a minute. Feel good, but man, felt heavier than it used to. Let's be real. That wouldn't have been as big of a shot to the ego if I wasn't putting this up for you guys to see too. I wouldn't have cared as much, but damn, that's like when you're sitting in old high school days, trying not to let people see you struggle with anything less than the fucking cookie. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the weight space cookie, that's where it's at. Anything less than a cookie, you weren't even lifting at that point. So, man, that reminds me of those days. It's all good though. Nobody cares, to be honest. That's the other big thing you find out. The older you get, nobody gives a shit what you can and can't lift. It's how you look and how functional are you. Can you act when it comes time to act? There's plenty of people that can look good in a controlled environment. Perfect situation, lifting the weight with a bar, perfect temperature, you're warmed up. Yeah, it's easy to do then. It's when it comes time to go from 0 to 100 real quick. When an event breaks out, something happens. You need to grab your kids and go. You need to grab your wife and go. You need to grab your girlfriend and go. You need to get your ass out of there. You need to save people. You need to help people. All that. Call upon everything immediately. That's what you're shooting for. And if that don't ever happen, you look damn good up till that point. So that's where it's at there. The other thing too to keep in mind with all this is since this is a full body routine throughout the week, like I'm not absolutely trashing myself every single day. Remember, like I'm not doing 4 and 5 exercises per body part with multiple sets per exercise per body part, like of that same one. That's just not what's happening. That's where a lot of people will sit back and say, well, God, you're not even going to heal in time. You're not going to be able to do this unless you have, some sort of enhancement, whether it be HRT or just straight up you're taking steroids or whatever. It's not the case. If you're eating all right and you're doing this appropriately, you're fine. Plus, too, like I said, if you're already doing this type of workout, chances are this isn't the workout for you anyways. Remember, the best workout that you can do when somebody asks me that, what should I be doing to get the most muscle gain? Okay, well, what are you doing right now? When they tell me, it's okay, not that. That's my answer. That's almost always my answer. Okay, so whatever you're doing right now, how long have you done that? Oh, for more than a month? Okay, not that. Like, that's where I go with it. How long have you been lifting? Oh, that long? Okay, yeah, not that. So it doesn't matter. Jeez. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Whew. Hoo-wee. Yeah, I'm feeling that one. It has been a minute. Yeah, we're getting after this. Feels good though. Damn, grab a couple more tens. It's been a while since felt a good mid to lower back bump. Man, it feels good. If I'm being honest with you, those pull-ups, which is kind of the reason I always switch to about once a month. Well, right at once a month. Those pull-ups feel great because you start banging them out and you need to add some weight. There just comes a time where I've gone up and down that where I'm not adding any weight because they're just not strong enough. Or there's been other times I'll be, Jesus, hell, I had 90 extra pounds onto my body weight just to do a pull, just to do, 5 to 6 pull-ups. But for me, those pull-ups, they hit a point where the pump isn't good anymore. And that's where I start to tell myself, all right, this doesn't feel as good as I need it to or want it to, I guess. I start losing that mind-muscle connection. If that pump's not there, and I don't feel like I'm moving the proper, well, I guess if I'm not moving the weight properly to engage that muscle group or that specific area of that muscle, like I start to lose interest in it. honestly, I get down on myself. It starts to not be fun, and that's not what I want. I've been lifting as long as I have. Big key to this is keeping it fun. It's not always easy, but usually the key to keeping it fun is feeling the pump, doing different exercises, things you haven't done before, or things you suck at, like really highlighting the things you suck at, which for me, pretty sure you've probably already guessed. My squats are so pathetic. Now I'm going to throw out a couple excuses here, which is exactly what they are. They're just fucking excuses. Blew out my whole left leg, every single ligament all the way around it, except for the interior. But everything else had surgery on. Blew that out. Like I told you before, playing slow pitch softball like a dipshit when I was weighing closer to 250. Pulled hamstrings, all that. But I let that be a crutch. That was a crutch I stood on for a long time. And at first I couldn't do it because of the physical limitations. I would do my upper body still. I would do my machines and stuff because, working out while you're injured, when they tell you to sit at home and do nothing, that's bullshit. Figure out how you can keep moving. Obviously, I couldn't even walk at one point. So I had to hobble my dumb ass because my whole left leg was in a full-blown brace to where I couldn't move it. Then I had to slowly ratchet out the movements. They have the selectors. So I had that for months and months. I couldn't go to work, but I would have my full commercial gym when I was training people in person at the old house. I went out there and did my full upper body routine, and I had all the doctors wondering how I healed so quickly, but it was because I kept moving. Now, having said that, I didn't lose as much muscle mass in my legs. My strength was way down, though. Holy shit, it was way down. Having said that, I also looked a little lopsided. My upper body was way more developed than my lower body for that moment. I've since then started to get a good balance, but man, again, you can probably put this timeline together. So I want to be super transparent about it. Like, I've been divorced for multiple years now. With this injury I'm talking about, I was still married. So when I say that, I had a little bit of imbalance and I'm getting to the point now where it's starting to look more balanced again. That's pathetic, dude. That's years of me saying, I hurt my leg. I hurt my knee. I had a surgery. Who gives a shit what it was? That was a crutch I was standing on. And boy, I limited myself. So I'm now doing the things I need to do, looking like a bitch in front of you guys. I go to the gym, locally here at times, do squats there too. And I'm by no means am I proud of the weight I'm putting up as far as like an external view. I am proud of myself because it's more than I was doing. But as far as like wanting to show up and be the badass, nah, it ain't that fucking, it's not those kinds of numbers. Nobody's writing home about the big motherfucker that put up all that weight today. Holy shit, I got one more set. That's it. One more. Let's take these tins off. One more. Give it the reason to grow. I'm playing on that edge of not getting good reps. You can probably see in that one when I watch it back, I'll probably see it. Probably see my form starting to break down. I started getting past 6. I could feel it. I could feel the weight hanging more from my back, like being supported from my back. Rather than when I was sitting like this, it should be supported from my glutes. Lower back, glutes, and hamstrings should be the supportedness. And the group moving it should just be this. Whereas that one, I could feel all this was starting to break down. I was starting to, just starting to break down. I was looking like shit. I could feel my back a little bit. It didn't feel bad, but I could tell something was different. So this will be my 4th set on this one. That's something else that's more moving forward here. Is on that chart. To get to those numbers, the total sets per muscle group, like we were talking about. Some of these I'm going to start like the first priority ones, the ones that are marked number 1 with the blue Jerry's mark ring is I'm going to start doing at least 4 sets of those. Probably should, instead of doing a check mark, just write damn 4 on there, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's do that now. Let's just do that. What the hell I'm doing. So I'm going to get all confused because some of them are only going to do 3, some are only going to... That's stupid. That's dumb. Okay. So for this, let's use the appropriate colors too. So I just did 4 on Monday for abs. What the hell am I doing? Just put in a check mark, just made it blue. See? Habits. Gotta break these damn habits. How do I put what I said I was gonna put, which is number 4. Be intentional. Okay. Rear delts. I already did that. 4 reps of those as well, or 4 sets of those as well. About to finish back, I'll bring you over here and show you. Do that last set right here. That's what we're gonna do. You know, we're just gonna keep going through this until I get the numbers down right. So like I said, I don't do exactly this all the time all year. This total of sets, like working sets that I want to do, I do try to get this in throughout the, like, I'm going to completely contradict myself with what I just said. I do try to keep these sets, this number of sets throughout the year per week, per muscle group. But the way I build the routines is different sometimes. So sometimes I might do an upper lower, sometimes I might do push pull leg, sometimes I'll do a bro split. Like I said, the individual muscle group, which that one's pretty rare anymore, just because I get busy and sometimes I have to miss a day. Sometimes I need to relax, to be honest, let my body heal. So, but like to be this, like this whole whiteboard and the little printout on top, which I'll go over another day, is this is just something that I haven't done this meticulously in a while. I used to just write it all down in books, little notepads, and I knew what everything meant there. I knew what everything meant on that stuff, but now it's starting. It's a little more visual. It's a little more every single day. People see it. It sparks my kids' curiosity too, which is nice. Hey, Dad, what's that? What do these numbers mean? What do those mean? Which is cool because they see me taking care of myself. I got 2 boys and a little girl. All of them ask me. So that's really cool too. It's just something that wasn't the point of it. The point of it wasn't to get them involved, but it's a very cool side effect of it is that they're finding themselves interested in it, and they also are starting to see things. But so let's do this last set of back here. That'll be my 3rd exercise. So I'm feeling it right now. Like I said, I was doing three sets per exercise last period, these last 4 weeks, and holy shit, adding 1 more in on each one, I'm starting to feel it. Okay, here we go. Get there, last set, best set. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's humbling. That's humbling. I guess 6 or 7 there. Yeah, you're talking 1, maybe 2 more. 1, maybe in good form. Definitely not 2 in good form. Which wouldn't happen. Okay. So, with that, let's go here. Let's mark our calendar up. Let's get in this. Let's get it going. What we can do here. So, got back right there. 14 on Monday. Got our 4 sets in. Okay. That is an awful looking 4. Swear I don't have cerebral palsy. There we go. Okay. Next, I'll do 1 more. Dude, I want to get all these ones out today. Buys. Let's do some biceps. Let's get that done. So, first of all, still got the marker in my hand. Don't need that. I'll go ahead and put that right back. Wander off without that, I'll end up losing it. We all know how that goes. So, last time I was doing the old preacher curl, fighting through that, which I liked a lot, but I've done it now for a while. We're done with that. I'm probably gonna do something a little more unilateral, individual stuff. So I'm probably gonna do standing bicep curls. Now, obviously, there's a ton of different variations. I'm going for, like I said, pointing out my weaknesses. So one of the big weaknesses would probably be the fact that I was doing it bilaterally before is going to be a big thing. You need to make sure that I'm working on individual arms so they each get the attention they need, obviously keeping them balanced. But the big thing is I'm locked into that a preacher curl, which is great for isolation, like nothing else is moving. But the thing is, though, I can brace myself against the pad. I can brace my legs up against the outer walls of the actual the arms that hold the bar, the safety rack, I guess, whatever you want to call that. Like all that I can brace myself up against to really engage everything and pull that up. Now, having said that, it does isolate it really well, but it creates this very locked in form. So from there, I will go into a unilateral movement here. So I'll probably just do straight bicep curls. What I want to do here is I want to stick the chest out so I can create the most amount of stretch. The more I'm here, the less this is stretched, the less this is pulled back. So the more you reach back, you can feel your bicep actually stretching. So I want to create that there, and I'm gonna pull up. You can't flex any further than this. Like a lot of people tell you come up here, it's like you just don't get anymore. All of a sudden you're starting to work your shoulder. So you can be here, flex into it. Flex into it. That's it. Doesn't take a ton of weight. Small little pro tip. I'm gonna start off low because I haven't done this in a while. Like I said, I'm gonna warm up. That's all there is to it. So I'm gonna warm up with 10s. Freaking 10s, man. Like I said, luckily I'm at home, but damn. Warm up with 10-pound dumbbells. Like I'm not trying to go to the main gym. Warm up with 10-pound dumbbells. You kidding me? Shit, do they even make those in black or do they make them all in pink? I can't remember that. Anyway, it's probably pink. I'll make sure I get the mind muscle connection first. Like I said, I'm gonna step this out, but like I said, a little pro tip, stand staggered. You'll see people want to stand like this. Yeah, it's fine. Like I can stand like this and keep my mind muscle connection very well. But the problem here is you'll want to start to engage everything else and lose your balance. If you keep your legs staggered, it forces you to stay balanced in a different way. So early on, it's a little bit of a pro tip that'll help you engage the biceps, engage the core a little better too, and stop you from cheating as much. And there'll be people that argue whether or not this is good or bad or right or wrong. Who gives a shit? It will help. That's all I'm interested in. Is it helping you get to your goal? I have no idea how many I've done so far. This is literally just for the mind muscle connection. This is not to go to failure. This is the warm up. Okay. So I've got my blood flowing pretty well. I'm gonna jump up to 20s here. Like one thing I wanna make sure I say too, I did 14. So the biceps, I'm not gonna be having big jumps, just all there is to it. Like I said, I wanna be in that 6 to 10 range. For hypertrophy, I'll probably be closer to 10 on these, I would think. Just because biceps seem to react better there for me, for what I notice. Not some science thing. Doesn't matter what you say, so I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. But that's just it. Having said that little tip there from the staggered legs, while I had done that in my past, I'd never really connected what it was about it, but I'd done it. Boy, again, going back to some of the people I listened to, the Mind Pump show with Sal, Justin, and Adam, and Doug. Those four are their money. Adam himself, he's the one that brought up the old staggered leg. Got a good point on him, man. You're talking about an IFBB pro. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me, right? Like I said, I'd done it in the past, but I never connected what the point of it was. I never really connected the whole series of it. So pretty cool to hear him talk about something that I'd done. I thought, oh, damn. All right. So I had people ask me in the past, what the hell are you doing that for? You know, it's better if you do this. And I said, oh, okay, cool. And sometimes I tell people to shut the hell up. Other times I say, okay, thanks for the heads up. Whatever. But man, it does help. It does help keep everything stabilized and controlled, especially when you're new, starting off. You'll start to feel that burn too. Holy shit. It's starting a little hot here. Temperature's starting to really pick up. I mean, look how sunny it's gotten out here. Let's check this out. You're talking. See, I have to bear with me while I take you on a trip. Look at that. So it's all cloudy as hell. It's beautiful out right now. It's nuts. Absolutely crazy. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the Midwest. I love it. Started this workout 40 some degrees. Now I think if it's, I'll check my phone here or my watch. Jesus. It's 65 right now. It says it's 65. We've got almost a 20 degree jump. Woo! Love Indiana. Good Lord. I'm going to fight hard not to get sick the next couple of days. I don't get sick very often, but Jesus. That kind of swing is going to maybe do it. All right, let's go. Next set. The other thing, too, to keep in mind is as I'm doing this, I don't like specifically watch a time frame. You know, I do have my watch where if I get hard into this and I start doing big compound movements, like real big ones, I might pay attention to my rest time a little more. My main thing is I want to at minimum get 60 seconds. A lot of people say 90. A lot of evidence, a lot of research based around that 90-second interval. It was built on averages. It's from case studies of people. We're at the end of the day, which my long-winded ass just sits here and talks like a moron the whole time, it feels like. But if you can get, once your breathing returns to normal, that's when you know you're ready to do the next set. It's when you're still breathing heavy, you're still trying to catch your breath, that's really what those intervals of time are starting to show, that your average common person after a set to a certain amount, to a certain, 2 rep RIR, reps in reserve, almost failure, they're noticing that 60 to 90 seconds, more often than not 90 seconds, is minimum what you need. That's optimal to start your next set, to be recovered and ready without being too long or too short. So for me, after reading into it further and further, it really just came down to, when's your breathing return to normal? When is that starting to be back to, again, quote unquote, normal for you? Then you can be ready to start again. Can you see? As I start to get to the end of my set, as I start to approach that 9, 10, 11, 12 mark, you can see my balance starting to go off. You can see my body starting to waver. It's because it's starting to recruit other areas. Trying to. Forces me to be more aware of what I'm doing. So even somebody like me, years and years and years of doing this, learning all the time, man. Sometimes you're doing things you don't even realize what you're doing until somebody puts it out there for you, clears data. See? And again, just because I got to give the credit where credit's due. Adam from Mind Pump, I mean, he's the one who called it out. I can't remember what episode they've done, literally hundreds and hundreds, maybe even 1,000 plus, but I've listened to him for so long, I can't remember which one it was. It's more recent. So, November 2023, I guess, in that range. But maybe if he sees this, he can comment on there which one it was. But yeah, when he called that out, I was like, that makes sense. He put into words the thing I was just doing. So yeah, so thank you. Only got one last set here, and that's it for today. That's 4 exercises, which, I'm talking, so it won't take you this long. When you get in this groove and you get moving and you start to get your rest periods put together a little better, especially if you do just go with a minute or 90 seconds. I would say start with 90 seconds. If you have no idea what it takes, you don't really know your body very well, just go 90 seconds, just be done with it. Set timer. It'd be very, very good for you. You're more often than not going to be in that range anyways. But I would knock out, Jesus, 90% of my exercise, but I only do 2 or 3 sets a day. Like I said, I was doing 3 before, so I would do over half of this workout, easily over half. But at the time before I was doing these videos at the same time, and I'd be out here for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. And you know what? You don't always have time for that. And I don't anymore. I'm optimizing for what I want to do, which is this with you guys. So this has really started to turn into just about an hour, exactly. Right at an hour is almost exactly when I'm done. Every time, maybe a couple minutes under, maybe a couple minutes over. I don't really know, but that's where it's been. So that's about it. So let's get this last set. Oh, no, I'm not on the same weight. I got to go up a little bit. You got to go up. Got to go up. Otherwise, your muscles won't. You got to send them the signal to grow. You know what I mean? A lot of people take that for granted. Well, I can only do this. Okay, cool. We'll go up still. Even if I couldn't do the 5-pound increments here, I'd figure out a way to just add on 2.5 pounds or even a pound. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh yeah, I feel that. All right, guys. I'll wrap it up for today. Try to keep them right at an hour. You know, don't waste too much of your time. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Otherwise, we're all here for each other. Reach out if you need to. Email will be in the description. Talk, chat. Leave something in the comments if you need to. I'm here for you guys. Till tomorrow.